of particles of matter. Now first one, the particles of matter are very small. Are very small. How we have to prove that? How can we say that particles of matter are very small? So for that we have to perform one experiment. You have to take one beaker in which fill 100 ml water. Now add 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate KMnO4, okay, which are dark purple in color. Okay, so we have to add approximate 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate. Now dissolve this by using a stirrer. Now after some time, as you dissolve this, we will see all the solution will looks of purple color. Why this is so? In starting we have take potassium permanganate, which is a matter. Now as we dissolve the potassium permanganate into water, it breaks down into various small particles like this, and these particles distributed in water homogeneously. So we observe that color of whole solution as purple color. Now what you to do, take another beaker and take 10 ml of that beaker into this. How much? 10 ml. We have take 10 ml of this solution. Now add 90 ml of water. So we have to back up to 100 ml. Total solution is 100 ml. Now what happens? Again this will be homogenized and whole solution will be purple color. Again, why this is so? Because the particles of in this beaker further break down. It's further break down into other very small particles, and that distributes in all over the beaker, and the solution looks purple color. So we can say the particles of all matter are very small. Now next, you have to always keep in mind that particles of matter possess kinetic energy and so are constantly moving. Now next property we have to prove, that is particles of matter attract to each other. Particles of matter attract to each other. All the particles in universe attract to each other by various forces. Suppose we have we observe many particles around us, like wood. Wood is made up of many particles. Iron is also made up of many particles. Okay, and particles of these matter attract to each other by various forces. We can divide these forces in two types. Number one, adhesive force, and number two, cohesive force. Now first of all, what is adhesive force? Number one, Adhesive force. The force of attraction between the particles of different substance is called adhesive force. The force of attraction between the particles of different matter is known as adhesive force. For example, now adhesive force. We have some example. uh, we used to say that water wets our hand. Whenever you touch the water, our hand get wet. Why this is so? Because the attraction force between particles of water and your hand is present there, so there will be a wetting of our hands. There will be wetting because there is attraction force, adhesive force between water molecules and your hand, so your hand get wet when you touch the water. On another case, when you talk about mercury, when you touch mercury, your hand does not get wet. Why this is so? Because the adhesive force between mercury and our hand is very poor. Okay, so this is clear now what is adhesive force. Now second one, cohesive force. The force of attraction between particles of same substance or matter is known as cohesive force. Now for example, you take an iron nail, second a cube of ice, third a piece of chalk. Now beat them, by hammer. What you will observe in case of iron nail, cube of ice and piece of chalk, it will break very easily. It will break very easily and it will break easily, but more force as compared to chalk. And when we talk about nail, it will not break. So we can arrange these three things: iron nail, cube of ice and piece of chalk according to their breaking of particles. So iron nail will not break, cube of ice which take more force as compared to piece of chalk. Why this is so? We can say that particles of chalk, particles of cube of ice and particles of iron are same. Okay, these have only particles of iron, cube of ice have only particles of ice and chalk have particles of only chalk. Now chalk breaks easily because the there is force between particles of chalk and they are united together by a force known as cohesive force. Now the amount of cohesive force is less than in chalk as compared to cube of ice, so that it break up easily, and the amount of cohesive force in iron is very high. That's why we cannot break the particles of iron by beating them. Okay, so this is simply adhesive force and cohesive force. Now next topic is rigid and fluid. Number one, rigid. What is rigid? Rigid means unbending or inflexible. Is something which cannot be bent or which cannot be flexible is known as rigid. It's a solid is a rigid form of matter. You can say rigids are solids. Okay, means rigid form of matter so that it maintains its shape and it's maintain its shape when outside force is applied. देखिए, for example, you take a piece of cube, okay, and try to disturb the shape of cube, okay, try to bend it. Can you bend this? No. Why? Because they are rigid, means they cannot be bent, and they are inflexible, means they maintain their shape when you apply an outside force to it. So that's why solids are rigid. Now next one is fluid. Simply, fluids are the substances which have tendency to flow, which have tendency to flow. Now which matter will have this tendency? Gas and liquid. Whenever you spread out the water on floor, they will be flow. Water will flow because due to fluidity of water. Means a liquid is a fluid form of matter which occupies the space of container, and liquid have a well defined surface. In case of gas, gas is a fluid form of matter which fills the whole container in which it kept. Now if we talk about surfaces of matter. Now number one, solid. You know that solid can have any shape. It can be in the form of cube like this, okay, and it can have an irregular shape, okay. Now can you count the surface of these? It depends on shape, so we can say always the surface of solid will be more than one, or we can say infinite. Second, liquid. For liquid, take a beaker, fill with water, and how many surface you can see? Only one surface, this one surface you can see only, so we can say liquid have only one surface. Third, gas. Can you see the gas? No, we can't see. We can't see air, and whenever you fill air, it will attains the shape and volume of container, so it have no surface, zero surface. Okay, now we start classification of matter. Number On the basis of physical state, all matter can be classified into three groups. Which one? Number one, solids. Number two, liquid. And number three, gases. Other than three, there are two types of matter also. Number one, plasma, and number two, Bose-Einstein condensate, also known as BEC. We will discuss about these two states later. First of take solid. Now a solid is that state of matter which has definite shape, mass and volume. Okay, for example, you can tell easily ice, wood, coal, iron, etc. Now what are the properties of solids? If we talk about properties, number one, solids have definite mass and definite volume. We know that solids have definite mass and definite volume. Okay. Second one, solid have definite shape. We know that solid have definite shape. We cannot alter the shape of solid by transferring into another container. Third one is solid have negligible compressibility. Negligible compressibility. Can you compress a piece of wood by applying a pressure? No. So this is a property of solids, means we cannot compress the solids. Now next one is the intermolecular forces in solids are very high. Intermolecular forces are very high. We know that all matters composed of small particles. Okay, and these particles are combined together by forces. So a matter have intermolecular forces between them, and if we compare the intermolecular forces in case of solids, liquids and gases, then we find that intermolecular forces are very high in solids. Now next one is intermolecular space. Intermolecular space are very less, or we can say negligible. Means we can say that we know that matter is composed of many particles and they combine together to form a definite size and shape. But is there any space between these particles? Yes, but it depends on state of matter. In case of solid, this space is very less. Okay, now next one is solid diffuse into one another very slowly. Means we can say diffusion is very slow. Okay, now these were all about solids. Now next we talk about liquids. What are the properties of liquids? Number one, it has definite mass, obviously, and definite mass and definite volume. But if we talk about shape, shape is not definite. because it changes according to container. Suppose if you take a beaker and 100 ml water, volume is 100 ml. Now if you transfer this volume into a bowl, then the shape of water will change, but volume is 100 ml. Okay, so we can say shape of liquid is not definite. Next one is compressibility. You can say light liquids are slightly more compressible as compared to solids. Why this is so? You can understand in next property. Liquids have more intermolecular spaces than solids. So you can say if there are spaces between particles, then we can compress them by applying a pressure. So we can say liquids are more compressible than solids because they have more intermolecular forces. Now talk about intermolecular attraction. Intermolecular forces. Now again we can say these are less as compared to solids. Next one, diffusion. Diffusion of liquids are fast as compared to solids. Now next type of matter is gases. A gas is a state of matter which have definite mass but no definite volume and shape. Now, what are the properties of gases? Number one, a gas contained in a vessel has definite mass. If you take 1 kg of LPG in a cylinder, then it will be 1 kg only. Either you take in a cylinder or you take in a test tube. You can use any container, but mass will be 1 kg only. We can say it have definite mass. Second one, gas do not have definite shape and volume. You can say no shape and volume. Means it attains the shape and volume of container. Gases are highly compressible. For example, your LPG, CNG and oxygen cylinder have these gases which are filled by compressing them. Again, why this is so? We can say it in terms of intermolecular spaces. Intermolecular spaces are very high H compared to solids and liquids, so we can compress them very easily. Next one is gases expand to a large extent on heating. Next one is diffusion. Very obvious that diffusion of gases are very fast. Whenever you use a bottle of perfume, if you open the lid of perfume, then it will spread out in all the room, all the spaces it provided. So you can say diffusion of gases is very fast. Now intermolecular attraction. We know that intermolecular spaces between gases is very less. That results from less intermolecular attraction. Means attraction of particles is very small, or we can say it is negligible.